Hello. So I abruptly ended a video a while ago, and because someone pulled up in this driveway down here, and I didn't know who it was, and I ended the video. I thought, I can't be doing a live stream if somebody unknown comes up in that driveway. I heard a car coming. I thought, surely they're not coming up in that driveway, and it was a truck. And I went inside the house because I thought, that's kind of strange. I did. Went inside the house because I was like right here in this spot right here. I was in this room right here doing my video, and that truck came up from down there, and I wasn't expecting anybody out here in the middle of the woods. So I went inside the house, and it was a white truck, and they went over to the side of this house over here. Let me show you. They went over here to the side, and there was a trailer, a pull-behind trailer over there, and it had some wood in it. And they pulled their truck in the yard, and two men got out, and they hooked the trailer up to the white truck, and the two men got back in their vehicle, and they swung back around, and then they waved to my husband was sitting out here on this rocking chair. They waved and said, "We're just getting the wagon." And I thought, did you hear them? So I guess they were just getting the wagon to put some wood in it, you all. But it's kind of alarming. That sun is awful bright. That was just kind of alarming for me. So I was a little startled. Oh, I am staying safe. We're going to leave tomorrow. I'll be back home tomorrow. As long as everything's okay and we have a safe trip, that's where I'm going to be back home. But yeah, I was kind of strange. I wanted to talk about the world. I guess, Gina, honey, you ain't supposed to be talking about the world falling apart or the nations of the world. Yeah, it's all right. It is. I need to find a place where the sun's not shining so bright. If I stand right here on this pole, maybe I can block some of the sun that's behind me in the mountains. So yeah, so to those who commented in that last video that I had started, and then I ended the video right away because I saw a vehicle pull up in the driveway. It was somebody who said they're just getting the wagon without knowing anything, you all. You have two trail cams in the woods. Y'all should see the strange lights that went from one camera to the other with the time stamps. William, that's interesting. Hello, everyone. So I don't think I'd want to live out here in the middle of the woods. I wouldn't. It's too isolated. It is. It's you have to travel really far to get into town, and it's a big windy road. And it gets really narrow, and then like the one house, it's got a hearse. It's like a hearse car lives there. Yeah. You feel agitated today? Well, I hope your agitation just disappears. I really do. And that you get unagitated. I hope that you get excited. That's right. You can get excited, you all. You can. Something odd to see. If you're the Naga kind in the chat, I love you. Well, Andy's sculptures. Now, what if there are no Naga? No Naga from Ode. What if there aren't? Yeah. That's the squirrels up in the tree. I've been hearing the squirrels they climb up in the trees at night too, I guess. And they'll throw, or the wind throws the acorns or something on top of the roofs. It sounds like something's like falling on top of the roofs, and I'm thinking, I don't know what that is either. Out in the middle of nowhere, you're trying to break your fear so I can stay strong. It's okay to live in the country. It is. I live in the country, but it's not too isolated. It isn't. And then I was sitting there thinking, if I had to move in the middle of nowhere, I would want a location that had I'm okay. I was a little startled because I wanted to do my live video and I ended it all abruptly because a truck started coming down that road right there. And I didn't know where that truck was coming from or what it was doing there. Even though it's daylight, I didn't know. But they came and got a wagon and hooked it up to their truck and left and waved. Said, we just get in the wagon. I guess to put wood in it because it's going to get really cold. Even here in Tennessee, it was like 30 degrees in this morning. That's okay. Yeah. So if I were to live in the middle of nowhere, I thought if I had to live out here somewhere, I would want an open area where the sun, I could get the majority of sunlight during the day, a flat area, so I could build a garden so the stuff would grow. I'd want that type of a area. I could have some woods around me, but I'd want to make sure I'm well situated. You know, everything was laid out just so right, so I could have the things I needed. That's what I thought, because if you're living in the country, you do want to be able to have a garden, and you want plenty of sunlight. There's like a mansion down the road too. Down the road, if you drove by it, it's like a great big mansion, miniature mansion, but it really does look like a mansion, and it's very well manicured and stuff like that. You're in Des Moines. You're new to my channel, Melissa, honey. Yes. Hello, Melissa Linton. That's right. You saw the military choppers in Hawaii. Yesterday, 2 of them in the southeast of Florida. You want a better car. I'm glad I found out about a battery starter, power packs, and is a lifesaver. Angela Rose, I told my husband, I said, I'm taking the tools. I'm taking the tools. I love tools, so I took one of my tool sets, socket sets. I said, we're taking the battery, portable battery charger to jump the vehicle. You jump it with the portable battery jumper. I took a gas can, a 1-gallon gas can in case we'd run out of gas. I took the first aid kit because you want to be prepared to make sure I had extra flashlights and blankets or warm clothes, because you don't know what would happen. You'd get stranded in the middle of nowhere, or, you know, stuck in traffic. Somebody broke in your car this weekend. Oh, they didn't take anything. Beachy, you had all your tools from your husband. That's right, because when you need one, when you need something, you need to know where it's at. If you're just tuning in, that's right. Do the Merkaba to protect yourself. Love from Istanbul. Thank you. I will. I am protected. I am. I wouldn't want to be living in this world if I was not protected. I would not. It would be a very scary place to live. But I think that the majority of us knows that we are being watched over. We are. You got some weird stuff here also, Spencer Lewis. Why are they doing what? Are you having an earthquake preparedness, Tina a Zangel? In where'd you say you're at? In Missouri? Missouri is isn't that like near like the New Madrid area, something like that? Maybe hurricane or tornado weather. Yeah. A good battery pack and charge your phone chargers, power sources. That's right. Everything. How do I know if my parents are just watchers? Andy, honey, I have no idea. I guess your spirit's just going to have to tell you. That's right. Let's see. TikTok is used for... Ooh. What if it is, Harley? Really, what if it is used for what you said? Hello there, Michelle, honey. Your mama was wondering, where is Mama Michelle? I have not seen her for the past 9 minutes and 40 seconds since I started this video. You're a little late. You're going to have to get yourself in trouble. You got to come on time. Oh, yeah. Make sure you have plenty of fresh water, you all. So I'm okay, you all. I was a little startled. A vehicle pulled up in the driveway because I was going to do a live video about, are the nations of the world falling apart, and tell me what you think. And I had to end the video because, nations rise and nations fall, you know, uh, and even throughout the governments of the world today, people who have been in power for so long, they get old, and then they're replaced by someone else, and they may not have the same type of mindset or things that the other person had, or they may have a totally different goal, end goal or agenda or something like that. That's right. Yeah, I don't know how to use the TikTok. You hear much is happenings. 22nd, 24th, end of the month, 3 days, 10 days, no fears. God's in control. I'm going to get a bumpy ride. Get your canned food supply, you all. Is there much canned food supply out there? You got to let the people find their own way. Yep. You're doing your part to help open up people's eyes. Youngie boy. Young babby. Hello there in Montana, Dell MCK, you all. So a comment got removed. If your comment got removed, we don't have a single moderator on here, so it's probably a Google algorithm. I think they set them up on everybody's channel. I really do, because I don't got it set up. You got to find that divinity from within, you all. Good evening in Ontario. You're going to get a plug outlet for something for your Christmas tree. So, hello. You have a 7-year supply of food for a family of 10, but I don't think it's for my family. I think the Lord will use it in tribulation saints. Barbara Ross. Well, I have found out myself, when I had a lot of stock, I had a food supply that I gathered throughout the years. I did, because I didn't know what was happening. Little by little. And then something happened, and I ended up giving it to the homeless shelter. And I said, would you all take some of this food I have? I had flour in buckets, and I had sugar in buckets, and I had all the baking supply. I had a lot of canned jelly that I had personally canned, home canned, and stuff like that, and other supplies. And I had lots of cans of coffee, because I would go in the store. When I go, I try to get a few extra things. I still do, but not as much as I used to. I said, could you all use, some coffee or stuff? And the gentleman at the desk, he said, yes, we just used our last can of coffee today, and we didn't know what we were going to do, because the homeless shelter, they were very, very low on food. And so I said, well, could you send me could I have a few people go with me, because I have a whole lot of stuff that I want to bring. And so he let around 4 guys go with me, and we loaded up my truck. First I had my truck, but then I said I need my trailer. Loaded up my trailer 2 times. It took two big trailer loads. It was like a 20-foot trailer, full of stuff. And they were so happy, you all. When we got back, the homeless shelter, they told all the men, you get out there and you help unload that trailer, because it was a lot of stuff. I said, where are you going to put all this stuff? They said, well, the counters are all full. We'll start putting it under the tables. They had so much food, you all. They had to put it on the table, stack it in the hallway. They were so happy, and they were really happy to get the canned apple butter and peach jelly, all of that. You know why? They said, we haven't had any of this since we were little, what their grandmother made or something like that. So it really warmed my heart knowing that they needed what was given. And they said, of all the supplies, what they don't use, they will share with the other homeless shelters, because they were very low on food too. So I felt really good about that. I did. And it went to a good cause. Not one single bit of it went wasted, right when they were on their last can of coffee to feed all the people. So it was wonderful. It really was. It does good to help It does feel good, you all. If you're a giver and you love seeing people, you know, you see the smile on their face and you feel the thankfulness that they have in their heart. You do. Yes, I made some really good apple butter. I loved it. Um, yeah. That's right, Michelle, honey. That's exactly right, you are. So, that's right. He who gathered little did not have too little, and he who gathered much did not have too much. You will get exactly what you're meant to get. Okay, you will. And if you have excess of something, you know, you never know what's going to happen in the future. Someone else may need some of what you've got, and it'll be okay because it'll be well with your soul to share. Not saying there won't be some people who are thinking, oh, well, we're just going to go take from everybody else because they got plenty. And, you know, marauding gangs going around. There are people like that. You see them in the movies, but I think they probably better be careful if they think about doing that nowadays with the way the society is. That's right, you are. It's better to give than to receive. It is. Even if you don't receive, it is sometimes hurtful, but what is done in secret will be rewarded. It will. It'll come back to you when you give out of the sight of others. It does. You don't have to tell everybody what you do. You don't, you all. I just shared that story with you because that was a big story. It wasn't a story, though. It was really real. That's right, tenfold, in a way that you could not imagine. You can give, and it will be given back to you in a way that, you know, really does speak to you, in a way that really means something to you. That's right. That's right, you all. If somebody gave me something, if I needed something, and somebody gave me something, and I knew that they did not want to give me something, that they griped and complained and complained and complained, you know what I'm going to do? If nobody else is involved, I'm going to tell them, I do not want it. I do not want anything that you could give me because you're doing it grudgingly. That's what I feel. I wouldn't want nothing from them, you all. I would not, because I would not receive it. I wouldn't. But then I say I'd be like that because I don't like that. I don't like a grudging person to give. Feel like I gotta give. I don't want to give, but I gotta give. Could you imagine that? It's like, don't eat the food of a stingy man, it says. Because he's always thinking about the cost, and you'll throw up what little you did eat when you're sitting at a table with somebody like that. Better a meal of vegetables where there is love than a house full of feasting where there is strife and contentment. That's right. You give me that meal of vegetables. If I can eat that meal of vegetables in peace, really, amongst loving company, than a big old full course meal with a bunch of people griping and complaining. And I wouldn't take it, you all. I really would not take it. I'd rather have a shack in the wood where I have peace and contentment and love than a great big old gigantic house where there's turmoil, arguments, and chaos. No, you give me that shack in the woods where I have that peace and contentment. That's what I want. And surround me with loving, kind people, because that's going to sustain me. As long as I have somebody, or we have somebody, we're going to make it, because we'll work together. We won't be biting one another and fighting against one another, you all. We got to band together. We really do. That's right. Yeah, and I'm sorry if I complain at times. I do, but I don't like complaining. It's negative energy. It really is. And it don't feel good. It really doesn't. Even if you're talking about the truth about something, it doesn't feel good to even have to admit it. If it's kind of negative, it doesn't feel good, even though it might be the truth. That's right. Oh, that's right. We will stand together, you all. We will. Oh, that's right. A lot of people, what's got into them. That's right. Speak life. You don't like drama. That's right. Well, people like a little bit of drama in their life. Without the drama, how can you realize, you know, be thankful for what you do got and stuff? How can your eyes be open at times if there ain't some kind of a drama? It makes you appreciate the times when there isn't any drama. It makes you appreciate the very peaceful times in your life. It does. Um, yeah. Andy, honey, you're welcome. Hello there, Susan B. Honey. Life as humans is all lessons we must learn, aka the drama. That's right. That is right. Oh my goodness, you all. That's it's a wild world we live in. It really is, full of unexpected things at times. Really, it's like it is like the human experiment. Really, the human experiment. How will humans respond to certain situations that they're placed in? And how will others around them respond to certain situations that occur? I just remembered something. I got broccoli steaming on the stove, and I don't think nobody's tending to it. I don't. My last time I told my husband to watch, could you check that broccoli? He let it set a little bit too long, and it got a little too, you know, I better get off of here because I really don't want mushy broccoli. And I know he's not tending to that broccoli at all. He'll say, well, you didn't tell me to watch it. I just heard the microwave go off because he's got a baked potato in the microwave. But I know he can look at that broccoli on the stove, and it has a little bit of water to steam it. And he can just see it cooking and cooking. If I don't tell him, you know, could you make sure you watch it? He won't watch it, you all. It's going to be mush. That's right, you all. Broccoli soup again. That's exactly right, you all. I'm having a salad tonight, too. Eating some more greens. That's right. I'm going to go, you all. Susan, honey, thank you for being on here. Hello, everyone. And thank you for being on here. I'm okay. I was a little startled from earlier. A truck came up here unannounced. It got a wagon, said, we're just taking the wagon. I guess to put some wood in it. Didn't know about it. So I ended the video abruptly after around 46 seconds, but I'm okay. So, hello. I'm going to go, you all. I'm trying to stand behind this pole because I'm trying to stand in trying to stand in an area where the sun is not beating down on me like that. Yeah. Hello there, Jay Jocelyn, honey. Did I see you? That's right. Thank you. So I'm going to go. And with that being said, you all, you hang in there and don't you ever give up. And you stay strong because everything will work out the way it's supposed to. Everything that we go through, there is a reason for it. And good does come out of it somehow, some way. I am a firm believer in that. Somehow, some way, no matter what happens, good will come out. It will. So with that being said, hello, wherever you are in any part of the world. Hello. From my heart to yours. Love you. Have a wonderful rest of your day. You all, thank you for tuning in. I got to get that broccoli.